So look at 1 Peter very quickly, chapter 1, verse 10. Now concerning this salvation that the prophets who spoke about, of the grace that was to come to you, they searched intently and with the greatest care, trying to find out the time and circumstances of which the Spirit of Christ in them was pointing, when he predicted the sufferings of Christ and the glories that would follow. It was revealed to them that they were not serving themselves, but you. He's speaking to his generation now. When they spoke of the things that have now been told you by those who have preached the gospel to you, by the Holy Spirit sent from heaven, even angels long to look into these things. You know, this is a mouthful of amazing truth. He's saying to the people, we've seen the Christ. We saw him go to the cross. We saw him resurrected. We saw the miracles he worked that only God can work. And the Tanakh says only God can open the eyes of the blind. Only God can walk on the water. Only God can create something out of nothing. Only God, only God, only God. And then comes a single solitary human that has never come before like that and will never come again until Jesus returns, who does everything that word says only God can do. And then he delivers himself to the cross like he promised for 3 years he would do, and like the Old Testament prophesied he would do. Who would deliver themselves to the most hideous form of death the world has ever seen? The God who created us and is buying us back with his own blood from Satan's lies. That's who. That's what he's talking about. And he said, and so God used prophets by his Holy Spirit to put in the word that he was coming, in a lot of details about it. But he didn't give a date, a time, or an exact place. He just says it's going to happen, and here's a lot of the details. You know, and that's why I said that even the prophets didn't know the time or the place. The guys wrote, and aren't you glad they were faithful to write what must have seemed like science fiction to them, and to some of their early readers probably thought they had lost their minds. But they wrote it anyway. Now we are the generation to be living in it and saying, like Peter, oh my goodness, we are living in the time that the prophets wrote. They knew what they were writing about, but they didn't know the details. They knew it was for another generation. Peter's basically saying, buck up to it. Get on board. Be a part of it. Thank him for it. Think of this. Next time you look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, God chose you to live in these days. He trusts you. Now, what are you doing about it?